totally retooling the eligibility list process, developing a list of interviewers and such, you know. We've got it down pretty well. We've done a promotional list. In fact, I think you just, not on promotional, but you just recently received from us the certified eligibility list that you received. In my opinion, we have a very good working relationship currently with the three commissioners who are in place. You know, maybe I'm patting myself on the back too much, but I think the preference would be that we continue with the three of us in place because we have such a good working relationship and we have things at a point where they're going smoothly for us. We've gone through the rough spots of trying to get things up and running, get processes implemented in our learning curve. I have, at the boroughs, was kind enough to send me for training for the position as well. And I'd hate to see the borough not get the advantage of their money, their expense. So if there are any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Any questions for Mr. Collins?
No, I'd like to say this. Your services have been, over many, many years, priceless to this borough. You've served on everything and anything, and we really appreciate that. But I think now this commission probably needs a representative from council to be on it. And I'm wondering if you would consider staying on as an alternate.
I would not.
With the Civil Service Commission.
I would not. Quite frankly, Mr. Almendahl, I actually have a different opinion about a member of council serving on the commission, and it may sound very hypocritical because I was a member of council when I was on the commission, but I was very uncomfortable with that position. There were times when issues came up relative to possible discipline with the police department, where as a council member I had to recuse myself. My choice was I either sit in and make a decision as a member of council, or I recuse myself from council and then sit in on the Civil Service Commission. And I just think it's a very uncomfortable position for someone to be in. To me, the Civil Service Commission is basically the HR department as far as the police are concerned. And that's an extremely sensitive area in this day and age. You know, we are implementing statutory requirements, but at the same time we're operating in an environment within employment law that can be very, very tricky at times. And I think most members of council are aware of that with some of the issues that have come up over the last couple of years. So with all due respect, and thank you for your kind comments, but that's just my opinion with regard to that.
Well, there's always been a member of council on the Civil Service Commission as far
No,
back as I can remember.
That is not correct. When I was serving on council, the policy was that the policy, which was a council, by law, by statute, a member of council can be on the Civil Service Commission. But I know back in 1986 when I first came on council, and for many years after that, no member of council served. And the reason was it just seemed that you could have more of an impartial panel when you didn't have someone who might be more actively involved in, in the process as far as a disciplinary proceeding.
Okay. As far back as I can remember, they were members of council, but so you wouldn't serve in an alternate position if on the commission, huh?
No, quite frankly, in my opinion, I've put too much time and effort into this to just step back. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm either willing to serve as a commissioner, continue my service as a commissioner, I should say, or move on.
Thank you.
Thank you for your interest. Right, as you know, right, because you were on council when we started the process of soliciting, right? We'll do that. We're going to solicit for anyone for the open position, but we welcome your offer, and it will be taken into consideration. We're not voting on anything tonight to fill that vacancy.
Okay.
We have an alternate that can sit in starting July 1. I think we'll take a vote by the end of July to fill it. And thank you very much for your interest.
My understanding was that the council would be taking the applications and advertising in advance of something expiring. And I got to admit, that's why I was caught by surprise, and I kind of sent in my letter so late because I saw no advertisements and I wasn't contacted about the expiration of my term.
Yeah, I can't. That might just been an oversight, unfortunately. And, I mean, we should go through this exercise to see what else is going to expire at the end of this year. We should be advertising at least 30 days out so that we can be prepared to vote before the actual vacancy occurs. But in this case, we're not prepared, so.
Yeah, and I understand, but if you remember, we passed a policy last year that outlines all the timelines in that.
Yeah.
So, just point of reference.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And so when you review it, right, clearly we have a vacancy now also on the planning commission as a result of a resident moving out. So we'll be advertising for that one as well. And let's just look and see what else is gonna expire this year. The other item on correspondence, Mr. Onesto email from Harris Street, that was, can you speak to that, Jamie? What was, that was in regards to, what was that?
Brick.
The brick, same thing that we've already talked about?
Correct.
Okay, we'll be looking into that. All right, let's move on to the business agenda. We have a few items to vote and discuss tonight. I will entertain a motion in administration to execute a contract with Brinsky Painting for the exterior repair and painting of the community center building in accordance with estimate number 0414-016 for an amount not to exceed $7,950.
So moved.
Second.
Just a little short, Nina. Mr. Phillips beat you to that one.
She's on a time delay.
Any discussion on that motion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Amendola.
Yes.
Ms. Amendola.
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Mr. Phillips.
Yes.
Ms. Post.
Yes.
Mr. Hayes.
Yes, motion passes. I'll entertain a motion to adopt ordinance number 1624, amending chapter 134 of the Grafton Borough Code of Ordinance pertaining to intermunicipal liquor license transfers.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on this? Hearing no discussion, please, roll call vote?
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Mr. Phillips.
Yes.
Ms. Post.
Yes.
Mr. Amendola.
Yes.
Ms. Amendola.
Yes.
Mr. Hayes.
Yes. Motion carries. I'll entertain a motion to adopt ordinance number 1625, amending the borough's codification of ordinance to include chapter 223, yard sales, for the purpose of establishing rules and regulations for conducting residential yard sales.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote?
Mr. Phillips.
Yes.
Ms. Post.
Yes.
Mr. Amendola.
Yes.
Ms. Amendola.
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Mr. Hayes.
Yes. Motion carries. I'll entertain a motion to advertise an ordinance establishing regulations for placement of roll-offs or dumpsters.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on this item?
The ordinance coordinated with the police department as far as safety items and talked to the chief as far as what would be acceptable for, roll-offs that stay more, that are overnight laying, reflectivity.
Okay, last councilman, we received the proposed ordinance with all the language in it. The only thing we need to change on that is the actual chapter numbers. So you have all the language, and I believe the ordinance officer reviewed it with chief of police, so.
And am I correct that this is now going to be, Mr. President, be placed under the, not the traffic, but the ordinance having to do with solid waste?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote?
Mr. Amendola.
Yes.
Ms. Amendola.
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Mr. Phillips.
Yes.
Ms. Post.
Yes.
Mr. Hayes.
Yes. Okay, under public safety, I'll entertain a motion to authorize a conditional offer of employment for the probationary period required by the Civil Service Rules and Regulations to Joseph M. Washinsky for this position of patrolman with the Grafton Police Department to be effective as soon as possible, subject to satisfactory completion of a physical examination and a psychological evaluation.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote?
Ms. Post.
Yes.
Mr. Amendola?
Yes.
Ms. Amendola?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes. Motion carries. Lastly, I'll entertain a motion in Public Works to execute agreements with the SHACOG for the joint O&M Point Repair Year 3 project and joint municipal sanitary sewer lining Year 8 project.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Amendola?
Yes.
Ms. Amendola?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Post?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes. Motion carries. Okay, that concludes the business agenda. We'll move on to discussion of old business. So under old business, we talk about the roll-off and dumpster ordinance for purposes of advertisement. Why is this here?
Actually, no, high school.
I think that should have been removed. I don't think, that's probably old business for the last one. Okay,
For discussion for the business agenda.
yeah. Okay, so no, that's fine, nothing to discuss there. Are there any additional citizens' comments?
Excuse me.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm
Yes.
sorry. I'm gonna be very quick, as I have all this big sheet of notes. First of all, I would like to thank everybody who came out, on June 14th, Flag Day, for our ribbon cutting ceremony. Councilwoman Amendola, President Hayes, and myself were there, to open our brand new, park, and we hope everybody's enjoying it. Also, the Shade Tree Commission was there, for their proclamation of Arbor Day. We have some beautiful new trees planted there, and we hope that you enjoy the park. Also, I was going to mention the pool, but interim manager Beachy already beat me to that. I do want to remind everybody to enjoy the pool and the park responsibly, and to remind everybody, there's no smoking in the area. We have lots of young kids there, so I've seen quite a few people smoking, and I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but please don't smoke in the park or the pool. Also, I want to thank Angela Pachowski, his mom over there, I'm getting to you too, for having a wonderful pool party and barbecue to help raise money for the Pool Together Fund. I want to thank President Hayes, I saw you there as well. So there's lots going on, so please make sure you're checking the Borough website. That's my next thing. Speaking of Pool Together, see right there? Speaking of Pool Together, we are going to be having a gala under the stars, so get out your fancy wear. August 9th from 7 to 10 p.m. The info is on the website, crafton.org, for your reminder. It is one person for $20 or two for $35. There's going to be a River City swing band, dancing, and much more. So I hope everybody comes out for that. And I would like to give a huge shout out to Pam and the Crafton Celebrates committee, because they are volunteers, and they have spent a lot of time putting together Crafton Celebrates. So I hope everybody comes out for that. Everybody wanted it back to 5 days, and we need the volunteers to keep it at 5 days. So I would encourage you all to go to craftoncelebrates.org. I also found it at .com. So, and we'd like you to pre-register for the 5K. There's also a link for donations, because it's volunteer, we need some money, so volunteer some money too. And of course, you can sign up there for your 2-hour time slots for volunteering. So I hope everybody comes out, and I look forward to a great Crafton Celebrates, and thank you very much.
Thank you for bringing that to my attention, the Arbor Day. In my thanks for and dedication of the park, I was remiss in not mentioning publicly Ms. Beachy and for how instrumental she was at getting the park done. It's certainly a park to be proud of, and I can speak to the children's enjoyment of it, certainly my own, that it is their new favorite park. So thank you very much.
It's awesome.
Okay, we'll move on to additional citizen comments if anyone wants to speak.
I have them.
Okay, come up now. You got 3 minutes. Please state your name and where you live and what you'd like to say.
My name is Janice Everly. I live on Clearview Avenue, and I just came out to support the concerns of my neighbors on Harris. It is a pretty steep hill, and I'm a little worried. I just moved in about driving near that road in the wintertime with cars coming down it and sliding down the hill and crashing into me. So I'm hoping you guys consider paving it because it does look pretty treacherous. And also, I'm guessing I'm part of phase 4 because I'm on the upper part of the Clearview Avenue, and I just hope you guys are considering paving Clearview because that area is pretty rough, it's rutted out. The manhole cover is several inches above where the street is, so it's kind of like an obstacle course driving down our street, so I hope repaving Clearview is part of the plan, and if not, you guys should be considering it. Thank you.
Thank you.
What was your name again and address?
Janice Everly, 305 Clearview.
Come back.
Yeah?
It's a real quick question.
Okay.
Real quick
Name and
comment.
address, please, again.
Greg Takish, 401 Harris. Since you put up or whoever put up the road closed sign, the cars are just flying right through the stop signs. My wife brought it up when she called the borough the other day, and I didn't know if we had to follow up with the police or just telling you guys that. But usually going up the hill has the right of way and there's no stop. But since the road closed sign is up there now, cars are just not bothering to stop and they're just flying right through. So I don't know who to bring that up to, or if I need to call the non-emergency number.
Consider it brought up to the mayor, and
Okay.
he will address it.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot since you've, in the time that that's been closed. Not that they've done it before too, people don't stop, but they really haven't been stopping.
Okay, thanks.
I have a local small business in the
Oh,
Grafton
I'm sorry.
Borough
Yeah, name and,
for the Metro PCS on Steuben Street.
Mhm.
I wanted some clarification on having the collateral outdoors. We actually had a couple signs on the outside attached to the building. We had someone actually come and make us remove those on the outside completely. So we have no signage out front. Now, this store has actually been marked from Pittsburgh. I operate 20 stores right now in the city. That store is actually about to close down for the door doing such poor business. Now, removing all outside marketing from that store really makes it hard to continue to operate that location. So I wanted to know if there was any clarification so we could have something. I mean, there's, where it's at on Steuben, you don't see that store, people drive right by it. Without having some type of signage out front, there's no way they notice it. I mean, I legitimately have maybe 3 or 4 people coming in that store right now a day. Taking that stuff down just killed me. I mean, legitimately, just to have something to be able to continue to operate the business where it's at.
What, was it the ordinance officer that had you?
I guess he came down, we literally, I had corporate come in, we had the flags in between the buildings, I don't know if you guys had
Referring to our
noticed.
ordinance, that you weren't in compliance with the ordinance. So you have
Can I
to
get
go
some
within the
clarification on what the ordinance is? Because he said it was all based on square footage, I wasn't there that day.
It's on-
All I was told was he was confiscating all the stuff we had outside, and he was gonna take it, and that we were gonna get fined. I mean, this was literally, so I got a phone call on it, and now there's no signage out front at all. He was like, everything must be removed, so now we have absolutely not one sign outside the building.
Let's, can we get a copy of the ordinance, made available to him?
Because there has to be a way to have something. I mean, there has to be at least one sign, something so people know that Metro is there. I mean, if not, I don't see how we can operate in the area.
There are options in the ordinance. What you had out there was not compliant, but there are other
That's fine.
options.
I'm fine with trying to be in compliance. I just want to have something so people know the store exists. If not, it's hard, I can't keep a location there, it's going to continue to waste money.
Well, let's ask, please give your information to Manager Beachy. She'll make sure the ordinance, you get it, you can read it, and we can have the ordinance officer work with you, which what would be
Try to have
acceptable.
something. I'm just literally under an action plan right now from corporate on that door. So it's to the point within the next couple months, if I don't get that door to perform, it's either going to get moved or just completely shut down from the Grafton Borough. So it's trying to keep that location viable and where it's at.
Okay,
What was your name again?
Brian, Brian, George, George.
either your phone number or your email address. to
Okay,
Manager Beachy.
which one would you like?
Which would you prefer?
It really doesn't make a
Well,
difference.
I would like to email you the ordinance.
Okay, so my last name, George underscore Brian 24 at yahoo.com. And my phone number, if you need it, is 412-200-0788.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Any other citizen comments? Okay, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion, or, meeting is adjourned.